connect since that somehow my device doesn't give me apps notification for other connected friends go to the live, so I'm kind of missing everyone connected over the apps. They're in this active period last year. So I'm still learning this new system and recently connected to the YouTube, open up the new YouTube account. So if you're also in the YouTube, please come and support me by subscribing. Thank you, Mel, for doing that. I appreciate Mel and myself is the only two of us um, connecting to my YouTube ominous practice. So, yeah, something new to start. And many of you in the state, Canada, today is the Valentine's Day. And I know that many healers, including my friends, who is also actively providing community service as for a self-management, self-bettering, inspiring that sharing the moments to spread loves and reminding self-love and how we can deepening love or healing love. It's about all heart chakra, the love to self first, the third energy center and fourth energy center, self esteem, solar plexus, and the heart chakra, green. And that's what all the energy around us this particular day of the February 14th and 15th, and we are expecting the full moon at the upcoming week. I mean this week. So and I was talking about synchronicity yesterday. That amazingly particular storyline of my life coming to the synchronistic element popping up to my awareness. And then yesterday, right after I was sharing my experience of the synchronicity in conjunction with my corporate career path into the spiritual journey and the awakening and on so forth. And yesterday, I was watching the documentary of traveling around the world. And then, especially this pandemic is really craving for visiting some cities and towns with, like the people's smiles and activities and street views and stuff. And then sometimes I enjoy these. Just the camera and MCs sharing the people's face in local in many different regions of this planet, and happened to be the Phuket Island in Thailand yesterday when I was watching. And I love Phuket Island, one of my favorite destinations for holiday. People, Thai people smiling and very affordable price range for visiting there as an holiday, and nice beach and weather. It's kind of humid and mosquitoes, but that's whole package. And then so it was that's one of my favorite vacation destination, and it happened to be there showing that local people's faces and the farmers market and fishermen's market and stuff. And and then I was surprised there is a young woman who just became a mother of a newborn baby, 3 months old. And the camera was showing that sort of like a temple ish place. Just like me going to the shrine near me to get some blessings for special occasions that are I take my circle visual to get some blessings. It's just connecting to the holy energy that land carries. And I think that's similar to the Thailand, that people in Thai, the Buddhism is quite different from where I am familiar in here in Japan, but they have that their own local things. And then some elements are very similar, like when you go to that holy place, temple or shrine, whatever. There is an sort of like how do you say it in English? It's not the fortune cookies, but it just put in the number, and then you get some readings from that. It's like a card read, but it's got the numbers, and you pick the one number, and then the master of the space, the temple or shrine, gives you some reading according to that numbers. And seems to be that local custom that when you have a newborn baby, and before giving the name to this newborn, they go to shrine and to pick the number and to decide that name, right? It's an interesting, like it's up to the something, a universe or that type of service in the holy space to decide the name, given name. And then that young mother picked the card, the numbers, and then get that name. So the crew of the TV show was curious about what kind of name was given. Of course, it's in Thai, pronounced in Thai, so unable to understand. Then the reporter asked that what kind of character they given, like what's the character. That's an actually interesting question, because I thought that Thailand doesn't have that Chinese character, but there is a many Chinese Thai there, so it's probably a mixture of that culture and the Chinese character. It spread most of the Asian countries. So as long as their Chinese cultures are spreading, and then we understand that character, including Japan, Korea, and so forth. So then that Thai young mother said, like, it's the two characters of the Chinese character. And then I was like so surprised that the two character, the given name was the exactly the same name as the ad agency that I used to work for. It was like a synchronicity. If these names are common, like a David, for example, in the Western name, like a Michael, then it's not that surprise. But it's absolutely not popular name. What is the chances that to getting this name as the given given to the newborn baby is exactly the same name as the ad agency, the company that I used to work for? And then I was talking about the synchronicity yesterday, and I was thinking about it. And then, to be honest with you, I was not thinking about that era for long time. Almost even forgot about what those days were. I was, in my 20s and 30s, and then I left the industry when I turned into 40. So, and wow, this is like absolute synchronicity. This rare name popping up, and I never experienced to have that matching with the name, even when I was associated with that corporation. So it's like, whoa. Again, it's not a popular name, so it's like, what does this mean? It's like absolute synchronicity. And then started to think about the synchronicities. And again, that I was mentioning, the synchronicity is everywhere, anytime, and just about you're noticing it and how you're going to resonate. So we are the creator of our own story, that to create our own life story. And it's totally up to us based on that past experience, how we influence as a perception. So the childhood experience so far up to now is the source of creating the story. And sometimes we just create the sad story, based on that, and to create some drama, because life without drama, sometimes it's too boring, because we watch drama and just get excited about or sad about it. It's like, so we create this drama to just make life interesting, you can say that way. Or we just becoming that one with the creator, and then with that observer's view. Hi. Hello, hello. Good morning. So I was talking about, oh, thank you for the heart. Talking about the synchronicity again, that how we can use the synchronicity to adapting this information is totally up to us. Our awareness, noticing that comes from that universe in front of us. And what else could this mean? So the meaning giver for our life is us. So we create our own story for our own life. And if we don't like it in the past, then we have a power to recreate, re-editing that from this now moment, the vantage point. And sometimes that are old memories that I even forgot about, but brought really fresh by the synchronicity. It was like, oh my gosh, this is the company's name that I used to work for. And then what else could this mean after all the synchronicities and corporate career and left the industry and spiritual retreat and awakening and totally different path, and then now all coming together? It's like a mixing soup. So what I'm gonna use this soup for? Is this good for my body? I mean, for my spirit, vitamin for spirit, or energizing my soul, or rejuvenating something that I forgot about, that again being part of me, and then way long ago left it in somewhere, and but now perhaps it's useful. It's all up to us to create how we're going to use the past and for the future. And the future is now creating. So we are now bilocated by the past and the future. So what would be the next? And that's a good question. Are we open to be absolutely happy and loving? And then that kind of question came to me, is that notice that culture I came from, the Japanese culture, is creating the story, something really negative in front of us, to tell the negative story to others. Isn't this insane? It's hard to believe. But that the deep inside of the layer, the psychological layer, is to protect ourselves. So if the wonderful things are happening in our family, for example, and then when we talk about the wonderfulness to other people, and then perhaps the other people is gonna steal this happiness or ruin something. So in order to protect us, we say, no, 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 it's the terrible things that are happening in my family. Yeah, I know. So it's like unbelievably sad in order to protect. And then inside, it's such an abundance of love and then all the resources. So that's what the Japanese psychologist said, that that's the culture that we've been wired. Okay, that's so deep. but sometimes it's very unhealthy because we forgot about the layered protection part and just talk about the negative. But psychology behind this like is such a negative. And then looking back that when I was being exclusively part of a community who speaks only Japanese, the dialoguing and getting to know is like totally wired in that mindset. It's like a protecting, talking about the negative things, and then So, but and then converting that mindset, just to changing the language. For example, like speaking in English is like a weird. How come you're so creative about being negative? But didn't have that awareness, and then I think that once I changed the way to think in English, because the one of the many of the programs and self development, self help programs are based in English. So the way that I create that mindset is based on in English. And then, which is pretty good because it's that second language for me. So the less vocabulary for me to crafting this, creating the new thought. But the mother tongue, the first language, we have abundant of vocabularies and we can use more. So it might be harder. So that's the benefit that I got from the mindset for the self better in with that second language. But when I was talking in the first language is more unconscious. And then the cultural wired mindset showing up. I was like, oh. So what I was wondering about that, when we talk about this story for bettering, and and I was given some coaching lessons to the Japanese speaking communities. It's very hard because their mind is very cautious, and and talk about the negative things in order to protect the core, the true heart. So the layers of layers of a negative face, but inside is like such a pure, and it takes time to really more like a three times harder than native English speaking community, I suppose, because of course there isn't layers, because core is naturally sensitive and being protected. But that's what I was noticing. And yeah, are we ready? And can we open to fully happy? Like, can we really open to give and receive love? And then when I asked that question in Japanese, I got so many critical mind to protecting that, because that society isn't a collective. It's very hard to speak up. So I learned that there is a lot of work for me to do for these people. It's just tight as a nakulam to open up. But uh, but that's a good question though. That sometimes it's easier to blaming others. To that because they said I've been told by so and so to put that responsibility on the world around us in order to protect us. Because when we know and fully aware and own the ownership of the power to create own story and to choose as an adult mature person, and we are responsible, and sometimes that responsibility is very burden, it's like too heavy, so we want to put that to someone or something, to that, because of the pandemic or because of the economy, because of whatever, whoever, whatever the past experience, even own past can be the corner to be secure in whatever that we not allowing to taking responsibility. Uh, do you think? Let me go get the glasses. Do you think it depends on how we brought up? Brought up? I think the way we create and is based on our perception, and then the perception is influenced by environment where we are being part of. The smallest unit is the caregiver, the first caregiver, which is the mother figure, and the second caregiver figure, which is the father figure. And then from there, if you're a family member, siblings, that's the another unit. And then we go to the school and then the communities, and that is the influence of our perception, how we perceive the things as the way we think, and which is unique to each one of us. And becoming an adult, and then up to 7 years old, and then it's the subconscious close, and becoming as a person. um yeah. And then from there, the thinking to become a social, being part of the society, like a child society, it's very harsh. I mean, I really do not want to go back to the one digit years old kid being at school, got to learn about being part of the community society, that structure. It's very hard. um, and then we learn the way to connect with others, relate with others, then being influenced, and then to establish some sort of a standard or way of surviving. We got to survive, and then create the connection and experience love in many different kind of relatedness. And then finding our own happy joy to particular area. Some people finding in art, some were studying science or sport, anything, writing, singing, and to explore in with that joy of developing or learning, exploring self, and the connection being useful as in becoming an adult. So I'm unsure that I'm answering to your question, but yeah, that's how we build our mindset, and then that is becoming part of our humanness. And but we as a human being, as a species living on earth at this now complex society, no matter what language you speak, we are human beings and we need one another. We need food to nurture in at this point, and we need being supported by others, and these are human needs, basic 6 human needs according to Tony Robbins, that these are the same. We need oxygens, we need water, we need love, care, and one another. So that fundamental needs and excitement, joy, and the peace is the mutual. And everything else is so unique to each one of us. And then it's totally up to us to use the human function, which is the consciousness. There isn't many other species on Earth, as far as we know, as in a scientific study or showing, is that consciousness, and then being a subjective view, and then objective view, and then the bird's eye to take a look at us. These are second and third view that we can hold to use as a creation is unique to a human being. So it's a human gift, we could say. So that's a gift given to human beings. So when we want to use the gift, that's up to us. So the subjectively we want to have this, and then objective view to on board to use that view for creation, and then also the bird's eye, like from seeing from the space universe to take a look as a more broader view to this one local subjective joy and excitement and love, and then we are connected after all as one. It is like the Maslow hierarchy of exactly Maslow's hierarchy. And then the bottom, the Maslow's hierarchy nowadays need a Wi-Fi because we need to be connected. That's the updated versions of Maslow's hierarchy. Indeed, yeah. So as an observer and observing all that, and then the mindset that we learn from own experience based on the past, and that limits because we need to survive. So these experience lessons works as an survival skills perhaps, or creative at the same time surviving to be live life protected safety and then so forth. But at the same time we want to experience better, means like a more love to different love in different ways, or deepening loves or connections or excitement, or feeling alive, like aliveness, exciting beingness for something unknowing yet, but feels good experience, like excitement. So based on the past, it's quite hard to know what's available, right? Because imagination is only created from what we know, experience from the book, learning or experience what we already learn, know to imagine. But intuition is like being open to that possibility. We don't know yet, but maybe that could be possible. And that openness, it's sometimes it's just difficult to believe. So believing that there is another way to live life, it's needing sometimes courage, but that courage to trust in self, life itself, and open up the door or key to ask ourselves that, are we really ready to be fully in love, happy? You know, sometimes it's hard. So it's a good reminder to which part we have tightness and because of the injury, and then I know that because of the injury now we become stronger, because the broken part is becoming the stronger part, because we already experienced that. We can choose to not to repeat that, because get the lessons and to make it better, and then that becomes stronger. And resilience is the point. The flexibility is the power of creation. But when we talk about the future goals, wishes, sometimes needing the muscle to stimulating that wanting list. What do we want? What do you want this month, this year, for the next 3 years? You know, what would be like? That because is some level we are happy and enjoying as this now. as in a positive way of thinking and connecting to self. And do we need to giving up this what is now within and around? Can we let go some part to welcoming better version? Because when we let go, create the space, and then the universe bringing replacement quickly, quicker than we thought might it would be. It's just like a moment. So and then perhaps that is this gonna be better? What's the guarantee that when I release this that it's coming better one? There's no guarantee in life. Just openness and trust. And if you don't like it, and then do it again until defining that joy. I think that's what that life is. And searching for the excitement and love and joy, aliveness, feeding, to defining for each of our own journey based on love, trust, respect for one another as a human being, and encourage one another to do that own journey. I think that's my ideal community, and I would love to be surrounded by the people who has that similar, intention, dedication, stance to life on Earth. Oh, the phone. Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. And then, yeah, the future, the synchronicity brought the informations, and what does that mean? And what do I want to create? That's what I was thinking over this Valentine's Day and the synchronicity. And the love energy, many kind of love. Caring is love, is all around. And let us use that energy for boosting the love to ourselves, the heart, and the third energy center. So, and then what I thought that today to good to refocusing on myself is that I realized that I have so many unfinished projects, and these are one of these unfinished projects. And it might be a good idea to pay attention to one of these work that I've been doing. And this is the about the energy of type of energy available in our everyday life, and the people who speak in Japanese who identifying this energy, invisible energy, as if it's there. So once we treat that invisible element as it's there, and the way to relate to becomes different. So, and then I think that's unique to a Japanese culture. So I wanted to share with the way to relate to invisible energy as an visible element. So that's my work. Been working for like last several years, and this is one of the work that uh, I was doing. Can you see? This is the energy key. You may look as an familiar as Reiki is using this character key, and combining with this character one other word to make it as an one word. So it's confusing, but so this is the word of hold. hold, having, holding that energy, holding the energy, hold the energy is meaning that's the feeding. The feeding, it's more of including the intentions or thinking. It's mixture, but it's in the third energy center, like a self-centered awareness of the energy, that how you hold your energy. That's the hold energy. So that is that a good energy or exciting energy that yourself. It's not being influenced or being part of some collective, but it's like a individually holding energy, asking that what type of energy you are holding when you are doing this or being part of that, or you are thinking about it, dreaming about it, checking the emotion is pretty close to that, but it's more of a self choice is involving instead of emotion is more of noticing how we are feeling. It's more of how we are holding that energy. Hello, Autumn. Autumn. Hello. Are you from the Instagram? Not the Instagram. What am I talking about? The Are you from Twitter or YouTube? Autumn. Von Red. So, how are you gonna hold your energy? The feeling is totally up to you, and we are responsible for our own energy, holding the energy, and no one can change that energy. So you got to noticing how you are holding the energy, and then if you don't like it, you got to change it. That's simple, but we can use that energy as what is causing that energy. If it's a weak or bad, feeling bad, and ask yourself that what is formulating that energy. Maybe that's the own way of thinking, or maybe that's the way of interacting or connecting with a particular person, a particular situation, or. So it comes down to awareness, that how you're going to observe what energy holding within you, and then relate to the world around us. So we always relate it to the world within us and around us. That's the mirroring. So what we can change is within us, with us. So this kimochi energy, holding the energy of self, that's something that we can change. So that's the how you're gonna hold the energy changes everything, and we have the power to change it. Sometimes it's impossible to change it because so being influenced by the energy around us in the collective, as a group or the family. But still, we as an individual human being, we have a power to recognize that energy within us, holding the energy within us is the exclusive energy for yours are yours, mine is mine, and we have a power to change it, shift it. So that's something invisible. Oh, you're back now. So what I was talking about is energy combining with holding. Who is holding this energy is ourselves. Own energy. How you're gonna hold the energy is totally up to us. And sometimes that the way we hold the energy influences our feeling too. So this way of holding energy is combining with the heart, high male heart, and then also sense of self, the energy, chi, hold within us, with us. And again, this is the feeding involving our own energy and how we want to hold the energy to happy energy, good energy, kind energy, loving energy. The emotion is also coming down to the third center, the self. And even it's the tough time surrounded by challenges around, how we hold the energy with us, within us, is up to us. And let us use our personal power to choose how we want to hold it, reminding it, and then actually hold that good energy, exciting energy. you, you're like, no, no, that's okay. I just wanted to chat here for synchronicity talk that I shared yesterday. The amazing synchronicity happened after that yesterday, so I needed to talk about that. Um, I talked about it at the very beginning, but yeah, if you're interested in, please go check the YouTube channel. I may want to keep this broadcast on YouTube for not that long enough, not that so long, but about a week or so, and then probably delete it. Yeah, yeah. Yes, please. I'm still figuring out how we want to do it, but keep it as a short period of time and then delete from there. So then, if you want to check what's happening and catch up on that, and then we can connect and then not stay long. So yeah, that's that. And then because of the synchronicity, I feel like I want to create something that reflecting the synchronicity taught me, and me as a creator of my own story, that I realized that I have so many unfinished projects. Then one of which is this my energy work that I've been writing the book, and I may want to refocusing on here and then started to sharing this energy about the way the people who speak, the people who are from Japanese speaking community identify non-physical energy as if it's there. So once we identify that non-physical element as an element that we are manageable, and then we can relate to this non-physical part of our everyday life more practically. So that's what the idea of me sharing that. And this is the word energy. And then I chose that word with this particular character. You may be familiar with this. Qigong is also this character, and Reiki also uses this character. This is the character for energy, Qi, and every word that containing this character is something to do with the energy, and mostly is invisible non-physical energy that defining that element. So that's what I wanted to share, and today I combine with this word holding the energy. Who is holding the energy? You're holding your energy, and me, I'm holding the energy. That's chi, hold, mochi, chi, kimochi. That's the word, means that holding energy. It's a combination of feeling, emotion, and the self-centered will. So we can choose if we don't like it, or we can check our own holding energy. Is this good energy or bad energy? And once we become aware of that, we can do something to make it better. So that's what the idea is. Yeah. So I think it's going to be processing. What is that? It's the process getting there to defining the sharing. But if you are open to and kindly support me sharing this baby step, I really truly appreciate your support. I'd like to come here and to talk about, and if you ask me question, that really helps me to defining how I can share the way to relate to the chi key energy. Yay! So we're expecting the full moon Thursday, and tomorrow will be Wednesday. So wellness wisdom Wednesday. Thank you. You're welcome. So I'll be probably tomorrow or a day after for full moon, hopefully to connect here. So thank you so much for connecting. You have a wonderful evening, night, and please leave a comment or leave the mark on my new YouTube channel. And thank you for connecting from Twitter. I truly appreciate that. Thank you. You have a wonderful day. Bye.